Okay, today I will be talking about just a new filter that we have for your tasks. And we also have grouping as well. So I'll talk about that. It's not on our slide. I'll be talking about what is the completed date in a task. Excuse me. What are the task filters in Pipeline Manager? How to do multiple selections and assign action in Tasklist, and then how to add a task to your calendar. So let's get started here. One second. Okay, so first we go in Pipeline Manager and show you the new filter option, and then we'll go into Task List and talk about the other features. So here you can now filter, so sorting by, these are the different things that you can sort by here. But when you're actually in Task List, you can now group and then sort differently. So I think the grouping is really cool. So see here, there's three options. Yeah, so you can group by the due date, the priority, or the status. So I'll start with the priority just to show. So here we have all of the tasks that were marked high. And then we have medium, normal, and then low. But if we wanted to group them, not sort them, but group them, we could do it by due date as well. I guess I don't have anything due in the demo today. And then lastly, by the status, so if they're done or if they're pending. We've also added the due date is here as well now, so you can see this when you're adding it, so you can have like an updated, idea of what's going on. In terms of filtering, we still have a lot of the same filters, but it's just more of the grouping that's new. And then due date, and then lastly, which I've talked about before, is adding a new. Sorry, my apologies. Adding a task list template. So if you have the same task that you do quite often, what you can do is you can create a template and then you can grab that from the drop-down menu. I think I have a test in here. So this is how you'll create the template. You don't have to fill out all these fields if you don't want. You just have to fill out the name. So some people, I get kind of feedback that there's a lot of different fields and it's too much work, but you really don't have to do that all if you don't want to. Of course, makes it easier for filtering down the road. But anyways, and then ideally right under here, there'll be a little button that you can add the task to your calendar. I'm going to go into Pipeline Manager here, and I'll just show you what it's like inside of a deal card and how to grab that task list template. And then, so here's just the different templates here. So you'll let's grab a different one. And then here you can see that this is all been automatically filled out, as well as the it's assigned to and everything. So if you always have a task that you assign to maybe a CSR or something like that, you can create that task list to have that assignee in there. I also, if anybody on the call wants me to, I will also revisit how to create how to send out your Valentine's Day campaign. If anybody wants me to do that, just let me know or put it in the chat. I think a lot of you were here yesterday and the day before, but if you do want me to go for it, just let me know. And then if anybody has questions, of course, about task lists or about anything, go ahead and ask away.
I have just one question. How do we remove you've got the initial pipeline. How do you remove a pipeline from the deal?
Oh, so once you've created it, switch over to admin here. So when you have to be logged in as admin, and then just click the delete button here, and then you'll delete that pipeline.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a pipeline question as well. For the renewal pipeline, what do you do once you've completed it? So like whether someone decided to stay with the same carrier, but you've already talked with them about their renewal and you're done with them, or if they decided to switch carriers. I'm just not really sure what to do with the deal card.
So you're saying if they switch carriers? Or
Yes. So either way, but like say they switched carriers, like do I hit one then or?
yes, I would imagine that's what I would think best practices would be. Because so you have the card in your pipeline and you're working on quoting them, and then you switch their carriers,
Yeah,
you still issue the
it's
policy.
for an existing customer. It's for like my renewal pipeline. So their renewals coming up.
For
So they're
renewal.
already a customer. So I'm not necessarily winning their business, but they either basically have the option to where they're gonna stay with the same carrier, switch carriers, or they could leave me at renewal. So I'm not too sure, like once I've had that conversation with them, what to do with it. Because now I just have like a column on the right, the last column says done. But
Yeah.
then be a bunch of ones that say done and it's kind of left unresolved.
Yeah. We do run into this a lot. We're actually working on trying to figure out for the renewals, and what to do with them. We usually just suggest to hit that one button because then they'll fall off.
Okay. And does that affect like your win or loss, or so hit one, whether they stayed with the same carrier or switched carriers,
Yeah.
hit lost if they went with someone else?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess they would always be renewal if they're staying with you. So if they, instead of renewing with you, they go somewhere else, then it would be lost. But no matter the carrier, you'll hit one.
Okay. Got it. And then I saw that there's the same thing with the renewal customers under the policy data. It has in there renewal premium and percent change. Is that something that just automatically fills in from like Hawksoft or whoever we use?
No. So this is just for you to put in. The reason we had this too is the reason why it doesn't automatically pull is because people used to copy cards. So, and then they would, like if you had this Nell person had dwelling fire and they also had auto, they would copy the card, mark this card as one, and then use this information for the next deal. So that would mess up for the policy data. So you just have to manually put it in here.
Okay, because when I hit edit, it doesn't let me type anything in. So it will let me type in the rest of the information, but not renewal. Yeah, so that's why I was just wondering if it was something that was automatic.
Yeah, let me find out. I'll talk to support about that because I don't know why it's not letting you do that.
Okay.
I know that the percent changes in renewal premium is a new form that we're building. So the developers might just have that there, but they haven't built the form. So maybe that's why you can't put in the information.
Okay, got it.
And then any other questions, Brittany?
That's it for that one.
Okay. Okay, so Melanie, I'm going to go over the Valentine's Day email. So first things first is creating your list. I recommend doing all or active, and then you will just click in here and put the title. And you can title it whatever you want. And then you'll click save. Once you have saved your list, you will go back into email template builder. And then you'll go to choose template here. And all of our holiday templates are at the bottom. So you can see we have these different ones, but this is the Valentine's Day one. And it's pretty much ready to go. All you have to do is just hit save. If you wanted to add anything like your social media, you could. All this information we pulled for you automatically, so you don't have to enter anything there. Make sure you just click save. You can give it the title. And then the email subject line. I've done this like a couple times, so that's why it's auto pulling. Yep. And then you click save from here, and then it'll save. And then lastly, you will go into your email campaigns, click create, grab from your template list. You can go to all, or if you've saved it to a template. And then you'll click this. It'll pull everything for you. Sequence is just your list that you've made. And then select from the sender, and you can always send it to yourself to have a kind of an idea of what it looks like before you send it out. You can change it. So you can set this up today and then just change it to go out on Valentine's Day if you want to do that. So that way, oh, this is at 12 a.m. Let's change that. So now you have it all set up. So that way on Sunday, you don't have to log in and work or do anything like that. And then you just click send, and then it'll be scheduled. Do we have any other questions today?
Good morning, Amanda. I have a question.
Yeah, morning.
Good morning. Can a pipeline automation be triggered based on a due date or X date?
You could add a label. Let me think. But I do not believe we have them. We have automations in the engagement portal. We first in Pipeline Manager in this type, we don't have it based off of an X date. But if you go into your engagement, I guess in a way they're tied together. So you'll go to automation, click create here, and then we have this X date here. And then you just hit get started. And then you can decide how many days before that you want the drip to start. So it's connected to your cards that are in Pipeline Manager, but in the Pipeline Manager automation, we don't have that option, but in the automation and engagement, we do. So it's a little confusing, but.
Okay, I understand. That answers the question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
That actually made me think of one more.
Mm-hmm.
I was just setting up all my automation for like after a lead comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have like follow up so many times, and then they're basically like, you're just not going to hear from follow up maybe in a few months. What is the best way? Like if I want to follow up in 3 months or 6 months, what's the best way to either have a task come up or an automatic email sent to them? What's the best way to do that? Should I like keep going with that?
Yeah, I would keep those stages and then just change the frequency to, like you said. So to them, it seems like they're on a different drip. Well, they probably don't know they're on a drip, but they will. What you could do is, so you could build that original campaign, right? But this could be, instead of a few days, you could change this to like 3 months if you wanted to do that.
Okay.
And then
oh, sorry.
Oh no, and then once you hear from like them, like once they are finally like, hey, let's do this, you can go into their contact. And then when you go to events and contact, you can see or not events and campaigns, you can see the different workflows that they're on. And then you can just stop that workflow. So that way in 3 months, they're not getting 6 months or something like that. They're not still getting emails from you asking to like get a policy.
Got it. Okay.
Does that make sense? Is that okay? Cool. What other questions so far? Anything? No questions?
I'll take one more if I might. Is there a list for opted out clients available, a consolidated list of any client who has opted out?
Mm-hmm. So because we have it so they will just opt out of one campaign, not every email you're going to send to them. We don't have like everybody that's ever opted out to any sort of anything. I'm going to actually take note of that.
When you opt them out on their contact, what does that stop, or does it stop everything?
It's so that it just stops. Let's go into this. It just stops them on that one campaign or that one workflow. We don't have any that are live because it's the demo, so it's hard to see. But so you can go to campaigns here. There's 3 different options, and then so you can email campaigns, workflows, and then single contact drip. And then right here under this action, there'll be 3 dots. You'll click that, and then you can click pause or stop.
Mm-hmm. If you go back to that person's main card or main contact,
Mm-hmm.
and right there under their name where it says prospect, and there's those little icons right there.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do? If let's say they do have an email.
Yeah, so this would just shows it when you click on it. Let's find one that.
So that doesn't actually opt them out of anything by clicking that. It just is an indicator of whether or not they've requested.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We do have in contacts. How was it worded? I think it's how they have a do not contact and a method of communication. We have those. But yeah, in terms of like a list like that, we don't have that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Other questions for me? No? Okay, well, if there's no other questions, I will go ahead and hop off, and I will see everybody next week.
Okay.
Okay, bye, take care.